Hi, I'm Anne and this is the unboxing of my Cricut Maker 4 as part of the Ambassador Squad for Newcastle and the Hunter area. I get to have a look at this, and then come my next demo, which is on the 22nd of March at Harvey Norman and Bennett Screen, you'll be able to see it live in action. Okay, so I'm just needing to move my box, and you'll see the camera move a little bit. Okay, so first up we have our little setup guide. Alright, so I'm just going to use my True Control knife and I'm just going to slice that open. Okay, so in here we have our little mini weeder. So like the Joy Extra, it's just a small little handheld weeder with a little cover over the tip. Okay, so you can remove a little bit of adhesive on the back from holding it in place. I just like to wipe that off. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that down to the side. Okay, you receive a fine tip marker in black, your Maker 4 booklet, so just have a read through that if you've not used one before, and your sample materials. So you've got smart iron-on, smart removable vinyl, okay, a couple of pages there. You have a couple of pieces of transfer tape and some pieces of cardstock. Okay, so I'm just going to pop those aside. Okay, so next we'll just lift out our protective cardboard. Okay, and you can see here that it's the sage colour, so I'm just going to lift it out. Underneath you have your power cord. Okay, you also have your cord to connect to your computer. Now it's a USB-C and a printer port cable. Okay, we lift this out and we have our light grip mat. Okay, so checking that you have everything out of the box. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is just place the cardboard protectors back into my box, and I'll move my box and then I'll pop down the machine and we can unwrap that. Okay, so here we are. Here's our Cricut Maker 4. Okay, it does come wrapped, so you will need to remove that carefully. Pop that in the bin. Okay, so on the back here you've got your opening, you've got your power and your printer port for your USB cable. Alright, so I'm just also going to take everything off my cords here. I already have a power supply set up beside my table, so that we can get going there. And then I'll take you through on the computer how to actually register a new machine. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, we've moved across from the USB to the USB-C. Okay, so we open it up. Just need to lift it up and let it slowly open itself. Never force the lid to go up quicker than it wants to. And then we just take out our little protective foam. Okay, so you can see here that in clamp B, which is quite tight because it's new, we have our standard point with a gold premium blade. Okay, and like normal we have our A-clamp for our pens and our scoring stylus if you use a scoring stylus. Okay, so I'm just going to plug into the back now. Now they still have the standard USB on the side, so that if you like plugging things in to keep them charged like an iPad, you can still do that. Okay, so I've just plugged that in and I've turned it on at the power point, and I'm just going to turn on our machine now. Okay, now I'm just going to pause and I'll go across to the computer and we'll set this up. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is get us all set up. So I've opened Design Space, I'm all logged in. What I'm going to do now is go up to Myself and into Settings. I'm going to go to Machines, New Product Setup and Start, Set up a cutting machine, Continue, and Cricut Maker 4, Continue. So it'll tell you how to prep your workspace. So I'm on a nice big table here, so I don't have anything behind my machine. Click the next arrow and it'll show you where to plug in. I'm telling it that I'm connecting via Bluetooth and continue. When it's connected, the light will turn blue as it's just done. Okay, so we're all connected, so we're just going to go continue. Agree to the terms and conditions. Now the first thing it does is it does check to see if there are any firmware updates, which at this point there's not, and we go continue. And again, continue, it's just taking through some options. You just scroll and we're ready to go. So just exit out of there now. Okay, so now I'm just going to go New Project. It says here that I've got my Maker 4 connected. I'm going to go into Projects and I'm just going to find something nice and simple to do, being that we have Mother's Day coming up, and also to use some of that sample that we got. Okay, so I have my piece of yellow cardstock here, and I have my blue mat, so I'm just going to place the cardstock onto the mat. Now with a new nut, I always like to make sure that I know which is the top of the cover, so when I'm putting it down I don't get any dust and it's always the top. So what I'll do is I'll either put my initials on there or a sticker or an offcut, just so I know this is the top of the surface, so any dust is on that side and you don't put it back down. Okay, so I'm just going to come over to the side here, so you may not see me on the camera. I'm just going to zoom out. Okay, so I'm just sitting in front of the machine at the moment, just putting my cardstock on. I'm just going to place it at the top going across the mat, and I'll show you that in a moment. Now I always make sure that I've lined it up nicely and that it's well stuck down. You can see that there. I'm just removing the rest of my top cover and placing it down. I just like to slide it underneath the edge of my machine, so I'm just going to move to here so you can see that. You can see my mat's just here. So that way it's protected and it's not going to accidentally fall. Alright, so I'm just going to find, I might actually find an Easter option. I'm just going to have a quick look at this Easter bunny box. see how big it is and if I can fit it onto that little bit of sample. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to hide everything that I don't need. And I'm going to zoom just so that I can see the whole project. And so you can see it as well. Okay, so I'm only going to need to do one, so I'm just going to hide the one highlighted there. Okay, so it is 13 by 28.5. I can see here that my piece is just over 4 inches. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take off my cardstock and put it up to the metric end of the mat, just so that we can see all those details and make sure we have enough. So we only have just under 11 centimeters by 28. So what I'm actually going to do is make our project a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go more size, and I'm just going to change my size to 10. So that'll now should fit on our nice little piece of cardstock. And I'm just going to go to make, don't save. And I can see here that it's got it running down the mat. So what I'm going to do is rotate it, place it back to the top. Got it. And because I've only got a small sample, going to have a look at what I've got that's close enough. I'm just going to leave it on the 30 by 30 because I know that I've got it positioned over in the corner where it will fit. Okay, I'm going to go continue. I'm going to continue again. And it's just going to re-find the machine. You can see here that it's found it and it's got it identified. My light has turned blue. I'm using a medium cardstock and tells me that I want the single scoring wheel in clamp B. So I'm just going to grab out my toolbox. I won't be a moment with that. It's just in my box for my demonstration yesterday. Okay, so this is my nice little travel storage box. So in here I have everything that is compatible with the Maker machines. So I'm just going to find my single scoring wheel, which is number 1. I'm going to place that on. So to put them on, you just press the magnet anchor at the top and lock it on. So you can see now that it's on and it's spinning. You're going to move across to clamp B, undo, take out your cutting and put in your scoring. And then what we're going to do is we're going to load our mat. Okay, now we're going to press start. It's going to come across and sense that it has the correct tool in place. And the next step is that it will start the scoring. Okay, so now it's prompting me to place in my fine point blade. So just remove my scoring stylus, place it in, just make sure it drops all the way down and then lock in that clamp and press go. So you can see the speed difference between cutting cardstock with the Maker 4 and what it was like previously if you had a Maker or a Maker 3. That speed is unbelievable. Okay, that's already done. So generally what I like to do now is just press done, and then I like to just turn my machine off, close my tray and close my lid. Alright, so I'm just going to turn that off at the power point now. Okay, now with this one, so you can see how nice and clearly that's all been done. So I'm just going to peel that off. I'll move my machine so you can see me doing that. So I always recommend putting your cover back onto your mat before you turn it upside down to roll off your cardstock, because that's going to prevent you from getting any dirt on your mat. Okay, so we always recommend turn it over and roll your project off your mat instead of the other way around, because this way your mat is taking up all of the flex and your project won't actually curl and it'll stay nice and flat. So I can see my little box here now with everything beautifully cut out. Okay, so then I normally just use either my burnishing tool or my little silver spatula just to lift away my little leftover pieces. And then my mat is covered again, ready for protecting. I'm just going to slide that under here. Let's have a look at our little box. So we've just got our little scoring lines. And there is our little bunny, and you would then stick it together with either some double-sided tape and you'd be done. So I'm just going to grab my fine. So if you're asking, this is the glue that I love to use and use more than anything. From your little dollar shops, you can get a little fine nose tube, which I think my daughter has left open at some point and it's a little bit blocked. So I'm just going to go back to my main bottle. Just so that we can glue this up. Okay, you'll just need to bear with me for a second while I check. And it does appear that it is blocked. So it won't be a moment, I'll just unblock that. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on there. I can see that my glue is okay, it's not all hard. And I'm just going to re-squeeze that. Now if you were to make these full size, you'd be able to easily fit a little, maybe a cream egg, if you like cream eggs, or there's the new honeycomb ones. You should easily be able to fit one of those in. Now this glue is very tacky. It does dry really quick once you've got your edges together. So it is my favourite glue for doing cardstock projects. You can see that that's now all held together. Alright, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy your Cricut Maker 4 if you get one, or if you get a Explore 4, let me know. Thanks for watching.